I remember when Mourinho signed for Benfica. I literally remember I had viewers from Turkey messaging me saying, "Hey man, good luck, bud. Like, good luck with your team." Like, just pretty much just like saying like rip, you know?
Yeah.
And they were like, "You're cooked." And obviously they were the most recent country and recent like fan base to deal with Mourinho and kind of get Mourinho. I don't even want to put all blame on Mourinho, but get Mourinho out of my club, man. Get him out, Dave. I know you as a Sporting fan, you're chilling.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, you having a good time. But yo, listen, I said this to my cousin today when we were watching the Sporting game, and I'm going to say it again. Obviously, this video is going to be a lot about Benfica and Mourinho and just kind of, I don't want to say his downfall, but I think his time in football's.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really understand why he's always been that controversial guy.
Yeah.
From everything that I can remember.
Yeah.
I remember a long time ago, if you guys watched the Portuguese league when he was at Porto, he was like, when we're the best team on the pitch, we're going to win. When we're the worst team on the pitch, we're going to win.
Yeah.
And he's always been like super cocky, but it seems like his demeanor has changed some and he's just saying stuff now.
Your time in football has come to maybe the closing when all you do is talk about the past.
Right.
Right. When your best accomplishments and all you can do is bring up the past. You know, like the one thing I'll say about Cristiano and the one thing I'll say about Messi is they might not be playing at the level they're playing at, Dave, but they've done something in the last month that they can talk about they don't have
smaller leagues,
They don't have to talk about what they did for Madrid or for this team or for that team. They could tell you what they did. Mourinho keeps bringing up his damn past. I don't care, Mourinho.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you know what I remember about your past? You being at Porto.
Right.
That's what I remember. Yeah. And you haven't done one thing for Benfica. And for me, it's like people always say, Skills, why don't you drop more Benfica videos? Like, if you're such a Benfica fan, why don't you drop more? Because it affects me. And like, I can talk about Madrid openly because I don't get mad. Yeah. This shit pisses me off, dude. To a point. We're watching the Sporting game. I turn to Dave and I say, yo, like, I think that Mourinho was probably the perfect guy for Benfica to maybe build a team. And the reason I say that is because Ricardo doesn't know nothing about football. I can't believe I'm saying that because he's one of the best cams I ever seen play in the Portuguese league.
Right.
Amazing. Yeah. But do you think he knows how to build a football club?
I mean, he shouldn't be building the football club is the problem.
Right.
I believe he is the one building the football club. The person who should be building the squad is your director.
Your sporting director. We had that guy, Roy
Braz or something like that.
Remember him?
Yeah.
And he left to like PSG or something. Not PSG. I don't know.
No, it wasn't PSG.
He went somewhere. Roma.
Yeah. Roma, I think it was.
I think he went somewhere with Mourinho.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, I think that he's the perfect guy to buy players. I don't think he's the perfect guy to coach them or put tactics anymore.
Well, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like I've said this to you numerous times, he inherited a team that spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we all know that the winter transfer window is not a transfer window you can really fix a team.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it. Do I think he could do a better job if he stayed at Benfica another year? If Ricosta gets him the players that he asks for.
Don't say yes. You're just saying yes because you're a Sporting.
No, because like I've
Dave,
seen
he can't.
I don't think he will because of the comments that he made last week.
No. I'm not saying he. I'm not saying he can't stay at Benfica. He can stay at Benfica. Right. I'm saying he can't win.
I don't know if he can. I mean, he might be able to if he can build a team. But
no, because Dave, you gotta be. Listen, bro.
I mean, the best of his time is definitely behind him.
Let me just say this, and I'm gonna use your manager example because Mourinho went away and Ricosta have ruined my club, and I'll openly say that to any Benfiquista. You can sit down with me and say whatever you want to say. I think Bruno Lage is a better coach than Mourinho right now.
Right.
I can say that. Why? Because Bruno Lage, you have him on video at least saying these players won't do what I'm telling them to do.
Right.
Right. At least you have that. Your coach came into Sporting. Okay. And your coach came into Sporting, and they were a 5-back, and they had Gyökeres, and they were under Ruben Amorim, who's one of the youngest, brightest minds in football right now. And he got in there, and he said, "You know what, dude? I'm doing it my way. I don't care." And you criticized him for it.
No. Last year he started against Benfica with 4,
and then went back to the 5.
Then went back to the 5 until
and then went back to the 4.
Until we got to the winter transfer window and picked up some players,
and then started 4ing.
And then 4's it.
Okay, so he put his way in.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty much what Mourinho said
last week
was that he's playing players for values and that he's not playing playing players he wants to play. You don't have the balls to be a coach no more. Your coach had the balls to be a coach. He changed it, Dave.
Yeah.
He did what he wanted to do.
Right, and it was either going to
work or not work.
Work or not work, yeah.
And he made the decision that this is my opportunity to coach a big team in Portugal. I'm going to show I can coach here. I'm going to put my ideas, my philosophy. This is my locker room.
I mean, Sporting's been playing decent ball this year. I will give him that. But I don't. It's kind of hard to compare the two clubs, and it's not of anything like that.
Yeah.
Because Ruben left Sporting in a massive lead.
Right.
João Pereira came in and kind of lost points that they shouldn't have lost, and then Ribor stepped in, and he did a good job till the end of the year.
Yeah.
This year, Porto's just having a really good season. They haven't slipped up in anything.
Yeah.
I think next year will be the move that we'll find out if this is the right coach for Sporting.
Well,
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is he won the championship last year.
Right.
So he had the flexibility to put a system in place, and if it didn't work, he knew he was going to get at least one more year.
What I'm trying to say, Dave, is even when he took over Sporting, there was players he put playing that you didn't like. That you didn't like that he was doing. Like, you didn't like that he wasn't playing the boss. You didn't like he wasn't doing certain things. He was doing things different than Ruben Amorim. Yeah. But he said, this is me.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I didn't see a difference from Bruno Lage's team to Mourinho, who's supposed to be one of the best coaches in world football ever. David, the only reason Arsenal went to the middle of the field, to the middle of the park, is because of injuries. When he first got there, he was still playing Rios there, who you're saying you're only playing players for values. You were playing Enzo and Rios, the players you're now saying are trash.
Yeah.
So you got to Benfica, you watched these guys train, and you're telling me it took you this long to realize that they're trash?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing is, I don't know if it took him this long or if he's just now coming out publicly, but like I told you before, that's not something you come out publicly and say.
No, because and not only that, Dave, so you're telling me you're Mourinho and you're allowing this guy, Ricosta, to tell you who to play, and you took this job?
Well, I don't. So I look at it at two different. I completely understand as a Benfica fan that you guys are frustrated.
Yeah,
completely understand.
Yeah, give me the neutral way of looking at it, because the way I'm looking at it now, I don't see an answer to it. I don't see
Yeah, the only thing I could think is, again, when he came in, Benfica wasn't that far out. He's done a bad job.
3 points.
Yeah, he's done a bad job. He definitely hasn't done a good job. At Benfica.
Horrible.
This season. Yeah, at Benfica this season. I will give him the benefit of the doubt, just because he inherited Bruno Lage's team. And this has been a problem for Benfica the past 2 years. They keep hiring a coach, spending money in the summer transfer window.
For that coach. And then they fire him right after the transfer window closes. Did it with Roger, did it with Bruno Lage.
Yep. So 3 coaches essentially had to take over.
Inherit another team.
Yep. So it's a, and I think Ricosta is, there's been a lot of questions about, they keep asking Mourinho if he's going to stay at Benfica. They keep asking Ricosta. He won't give a definitive answer. I think he learned a lot by giving the contract extension prematurely to Roger, which ended up costing him a lot of money.
Yeah.
Benfica, essentially, if they want to get rid of Mourinho at the end of the year, they have 10 days to get rid of him at a reduced price. But he's still under contract. If they want to keep him, if they decide they want to keep him, then he's under contract for another year. There's no need to rush into it.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying as a Benfiquista. The only benefit of the doubt I will give Mourinho is he's saying this publicly. I do not agree with that at all.
Yeah.
This needs to be a conversation that he has with.
Oh, but I agree with him, Dave.
No, I agree with what he's saying, but
you can't say it.
You can't say it out loud.
You have annihilated a locker room.
Bruno Lage said it.
Someone filmed him,
but somebody recorded him in the garage, which is a completely different story.
He's saying these players don't jump, they cut their legs off, they don't run.
Yeah, look, but that wasn't public.
Yeah,
it was made public by somebody who recorded him
in the locker room,
well, in the garage.
But
for him to come out publicly and say it, it seems like a cheap shot.
It seems like, for me, Mourinho his stuff is not working. And instead of taking the blame, he'll throw the blame on anybody else.
Well, I do believe that's why I'm saying as a neutral. Like as a neutral, I understand your guys' frustration, but I do believe that Rui Costa is probably told him like, "Hey, man, I understand that these players aren't the players you want, but if you want to get players that you want, we gotta make money off of these players that we bought." Again, that's not the right way of doing it.
Right.
But
let me say this, Dave. Let me say this.
That's again. I also blame Benfica Sad,
Right.
because they need to pull Rui Costa because Benfica has a president, and it's not like the like for you guys that don't know, the Portuguese clubs are not like English
England.
clubs.
It is in Spain. In Spain, it is.
In Spain, it's similar.
In Spain,
yeah.
In most teams in Spain, like Florentino Perez is a president, you can get voted out.
Yeah, you can get voted out. So, but underneath Rui Costa, there's a board of directors.
Right.
And when they make a decision, it's kind of like a company in the United States, like where you have like a CEO. Yeah. But for him to get something passed, he has to go to the board.
Yeah.
So again, like I just don't understand like why the board hasn't told Rui Costa, you can't buy fucking players no more.
But let me say something real quick, because let me tell you why what Mourinho said is BS. And I don't believe him. Right. And you can say all you want. Let me tell you why I think Rui Costa's not making the decisions. And Mourinho is just trying to bail himself out. If Rui Costa's making the decisions, do you not go to Mourinho when you say, "Hey, Mourinho, escuta, listen, we have a problem. We suck.
Yeah.
We're trying to make some money. Bench Otamendi, who's 40 years old, and put Tomás Araujo playing because one of these kids can be sold for a lot of money." Yeah. If it was a thing of money, Dave, would Tomás Araujo and Antonio Silva both not be playing? Because it's not a thing about making money, dude. Mourinho's trying to bail himself out. Did they buy Rios wrong? Yes. Was Enzo poorly bought? Yes. Should you have kept Florentino Luis over Enzo? Yes. Really bad decisions from the board at Rui Costa South. I'm not saying that. I've gone to you and I've told you this, and I'll say this to all Benfiquistas. You guys can call me a bad Benfiquista for saying this. I don't care, bro. I would rather have a president like Luis Felipe in there stealing money into his own bank account than have Rui Costa as my president, because you're stealing from Benfica either way.
Yeah, you're stealing from the fans now.
You're stealing from me, man, because Luis Felipe was stealing money on every transfer he made. But guess what? He was making 100 million transfers. So if you want to make 100 million transfer and steal 5 million from Benfica, so 5 million go in your bank account, but you sold somebody for 100 million, and this team played good ball so you could sell them for 100 million, I don't give a shit. Do it. At least we played ball for you to make 100 million.
No, I agree.
This team is stealing from the fans. We don't make money. We'll make money on players, but we don't get to see players play. We don't get to see the team play good football, and we don't compete from trophies. And we're a laughing stock. Sporting is a better team than us. Porto is a better team than us. And all we do is go complain about refereeing. And has the refereeing been poor this year? Yeah, David's been poor. But is the reason Benfica is not in second place or first place? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely not.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of Benfiquistas that say it is, but I don't believe so.
Because you don't watch football. I'm sorry, Benfiquistas. Has there been calls?
There's been points taken away from Benfica.
Yes, there's been points.
There's been points favored for Sporting and taken away from Sporting.
Absolutely.
Same thing with Porto.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that. The end of the day, o Benfica não joga nada, bro. We go to Casa Pia. I don't care about the refereeing, bro. We don't play.
Yeah, I mean, Rafa was a big mistake. Like,
Massive
that was a
mistake.
Terrible signing
on
for
top
Benfica.
On top of that, Dave Pavlidis hasn't played good in a month.
Yeah.
You won't take him. He can't take his legs. You won't take him out.
Yep.
You won't take the guy out. One weekend, the 17-year-old kid is scoring us goals and saving us. The next weekend, Ivanovic is back in the lineup against Real Madrid over the kid that saved us. You never know what this Mourinho's gonna do. Prastiani was playing, then Prastiani's not playing with the thing. You bring in Sydney, and because Sydney asked for Vinny's jersey, now there goes 10 million because he asked for a jersey.
Yeah, it's just it's like Benfica's poorly run right now. I mean, that's me looking out at it.
I agree.
I mean, it's got to be whoever comes in. And again, I personally think that Mourinho will not be Benfica's coach next year.
No, you know the only reason?
I hope he does because, and I'm not saying this because of Benfica.
I was going to say he's going to end up in
He's
Portugal.
going to end up as a Portugal
He's going to end up as the Portuguese manager, and we're cooked.
And we can't have that guy as a Portuguese manager. I just saw a clip not long ago about that, and they're saying there's no way that Mourinho could be a Portuguese manager after he said that he didn't want to see Sporting win the Champions League.
It's tough.
I mean, how are you going to go out on record and say that you don't want Sporting to win the Champions League because you were the last Portuguese coach to win it?
I mean, listen, it's tough because at the end of the day, like you have players like Balt and Inácio that you can call up to the Portuguese national team and they play for Sporting. It's tough. It's tough for him to be the.
I don't want it. I personally think that Mourinho's past his prime.
I think he is too. I don't think he's a coach for Benfica no more.
He was a great coach in his prime. You know, he was up there with, like, there was talks about him and Pep being the greatest coaches of all time. Mourinho, after the Real Madrid job, I don't really think he really had a big job after that.
No, I mean, like I said.
No, I'm sorry. After the Man U job, I apologize.
Well, listen, Roma. It depends how you look. Roma's a big team in my eyes. They're a big team. They're not like a mega team.
Yeah, but when was the last time they won a championship?
Well, he won the Europa League with them.
He won the Europa League, but he didn't win the championship.
No, he hasn't won a league in a long time, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying.
And he went. I remember he went to Turkey and he started saying, "Oh, the refs here and the way teams waste time."
He does it here, too.
And now he goes to the Portuguese league and he says the same shit. Maybe Mourinho, your time in football is this. And again, dude, I could sit here and ramble. And look, Dave, I will openly say this to you as a Sporting fan. I will say it. Do I think there's been calls that have benefited Sporting this year? Yeah, but I always say this. I will say this, and I say this to people, and you guys can say whatever you want. I think when Benfica was playing really good ball in the Saviola and stuff, remember that?
Yeah.
I think that there was calls in our favor. Do you know why? Because you create a lot of opportunities. And when you create a lot of opportunities, you allow a lot of opportunity for mistake on the referee. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when you're constantly shooting and getting into the penalty area, you can get penalties called your way or penalties not called your way because the game is going your way. When you're Benfica and you don't play ball, you don't get into the penalty area. So penalties can't be called for you because you're not creating enough opportunities. So do I think the referees have caused Benfica to be here? No, but if you go on Benfica's social media, it looks like it because Benfica spends more time on social media complaining about Sporting and Porto than beating Casa Pia. You're an outsider, bro. I know you don't want to see him get fixed. How do you fix it? Because you went through this with Sporting.
How do I fix it? So there's different ways to fix it. So first and foremost, if Mourinho's going to be their coach, and I'm saying if, guys, don't think I'm saying that he's going to be the coach. Whoever's going to be your next coach needs to be hired immediately after the season.
Yeah.
And they immediately need to start scouting
within the first 2 weeks of the season ending.
Yes.
Have it in place.
They have to have a coach
before it even gets close to the World Cup.
If it's going to be Mourinho,
yep,
it's going to be Mourinho.
Yep.
Let him build a team.
Yep.
I don't know. It's going to be hard to fix unless Benfica gets bailed out like they have been getting bailed out in previous years. So like if they can sell Rios for a 35.
And get your money back.
And get your money back. If they can sell a Sudakov and get their money back.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Sudakov's bad because he doesn't play enough.
Yeah.
But they definitely have to have a coach that they're going to commit to for at least 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
You can't, like, if shit goes bad, you can't just fire him.
Agree. So
whoever's going to be the coach has got to be committed for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be Mourinho, then give him a year contract extension.
Yeah.
Because this flip-flopping of coaches, I went through it watching Sporting for many years.
Yeah.
It can't happen.
Yeah.
There's going to be players in that locker room that are just have to go. Otamendi cannot be re-signed.
Thank you. I agree.
Otamendi cannot be re-signed. It's time to move on. The guy's old.
Yeah.
Still a good player, but old.
Yeah.
You got to make up your mind in the midfield.
Yeah.
Some of those players have got to go.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty set at like left back and right back.
Yeah.
With those players, you're gonna have to buy a central.
Yeah.
I would buy a goalie.
Yeah.
And for nothing else, to at least give them competition.
Yeah. Celtrubin.
Okay. And then in the front, you're gonna keep Pavlidis.
We left one out.
Which one?
Luka Bacchio.
Yeah, Luka Bacchio.
I don't know if it's a good buy or not.
Yeah, I forgot about Luka Bacchio. Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot they got to fix, man. But
it's a lot,
the problem is for them to fix it, they have to commit to a coach.
Dave,
Sporting committed to Ruben
on seasons that went bad.
They signed him. They won the first season. And again, guys, I'm comparing them to Sporting because of this. When Sporting was in 4th place, the president renewed his contract to 2026.
Yeah,
that shows the coach that he has full confidence of your president.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like any of the coaches that Benfica has had the back, or Ricosta
except for Roger when he signed him quickly.
Yes,
that looked like he had the back. Remember, David, that Ruben did not qualify for Europe. He lost the playoffs to a trash team.
Yes.
A team that he was supposed to be better than. Was that the Europa League or the Champions League?
I think it was Europa League.
To get into the Europa League.
Yep.
And you were like, that's a disaster because you didn't like the way that started.
No.
And then he wins the league. Then he had a season where he ends in like 4th.
Yeah.
Horrible season. And they stuck with him.
Yeah. Well, that's when they renewed his contract.
They renewed after that.
They renewed after that 4th place finish.
You know why?
Right.
Because your president is on record saying he likes the way this man coaches.
Yeah.
I have not seen one time that Rui Costa's like, oh, I like the way this guy coaches or that guy coaches.
He needs to pick a coach. And like I said, whoever the coach is, I understand Benfiquistas are a very tough crowd. I've been around them, like family members. Yeah. All of them are Benfiquistas except for me.
Yeah,
they're a very tough crowd. But Benfica, if Benfiquistas want their club fixed, they cannot fire a manager every year.
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
Yeah,
Benfica's most glorious times that I can remember,
Jorge
Jesus, because they stuck by him and he was their first stint for Jorge Jesus, not second stint.
Yeah,
but first stint because they stuck behind him.
Yeah.
You got to have a coach there for at least 3 seasons to fix this. You can't, because Benfica's not an English team, or Sporting's not an English team where you can flip a plantel every year. You can't.
I don't know how Benfica's going to do it this year.
You can't. I mean, Benfica had gotten lucky previously because of the sales. They sold João Neves.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. João Felix for 120.
Yeah.
Darwin Nunez for 100.
Yep. Ruben went before them. João Neves.
Yeah, João Neves went for 60.
Enzo
Ruben
Fernandez,
Diaz, 80, 120 for Enzo Fernandez. They made a bunch of money, so they were able to flip-flop the plantel, but they're not going to make a lot of money now.
They're going to make a lot of money this summer.
You think they'll make a lot of money this summer?
Pavlidis goes for 50.
Yeah.
Pavlidis is going to leave Benfica for like 50, 60.
Yeah.
Pavlidis is going to end up leaving.
I mean, they're going to have to sell players.
Because everyone needs strikers, so you're probably going to end up moving Pavlidis for money. It's going to happen. Most likely, I would think. I think Antonio Silva is going to go for over 20.
Yeah, he'll probably go for 30, I think.
So then I'll say this, man. For me, in my eyes, David, Mourinho has ruined Benfica's locker room.
Yeah.
Rui Costa and the 65% that voted for this guy has ruined Benfica because he doesn't know how to sign. He don't know how to sign players, and now Mourinho's ruined locker. And this is why I tell you why Mourinho can't stay, Dave, because you can't flip a plantel every year, and you need to find a coach that can make these players work.
And Mourinho may be the guy, dude.
No, because he's already said what he had to say. You said players being played for values. You can't get rid of. What are you gonna do, dude? How are you gonna flip this now, man? You can't sell. If you sell Rios, Dave, you have to replace Rios.
Not really, because you got Austiners. You put him in the right position and buy a player that was supposed to be on the right wing.
Yeah, Luca Bacchio. You can't buy another one.
You can.
Another one?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to.
I mean, you have to sell Brastiani or one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to have to be.
That's what I'm saying.
But here's the other thing, like, and again, it's, and I'll this will be the last thing I say was, the one thing I did hear somebody say is, if Rui Costa sticks with Mourinho, or if he hires a coach, and he fires him again in the first 5 weeks, it's not just the coaches that needs to be fired.
Rui Costa
needs to step down as the president.
I will say this. If the first 3 months of next season don't go well, I'm ending this video on this. If the first 3 months of this video don't go well, Rui Costa, if you're a true Benfiquista, step down.
Yeah, you gotta put a coach. I told you when he signed Mourinho, and you can vouch for me. I said, before he signed Mourinho, we were on the phone. I was on the way to the beach.
Yep.
And Bruno Lage, he's like, Bruno Lage will be fired. Mourinho will be hired next week.
I said that.
He called me and told me that.
You're on the way to my beach house.
Yes.
You guys would chill up there.
Yeah.
So
I told you, if Rui Costa is a true Benfiquista, he will not hire Mourinho right now. He'll let the elections go through.
You said it.
And if he wins, then he has the opportunity.
You said it. And he hired.
So he hired him anyway. Again, there's an out for him. I think it's $3 million that Benfica has to pay to get out of his contract.
Within the first 10 days.
10 days after the thing. So we'll have to see what happens.
Guys, we love you guys.
Benfica, this one went long.
It did go long. If I can go, we
can talk for 2 hours.
We didn't even get the Sporting Porto. Bro, I want to yell about this Benfica stuff. Rui Costa, if tu és Benfiquista, bro, 3 months, man. If you don't fix Benfica in the first 3 months next, sai do meu clube. 65% voted for this, David.
Yeah.
Could you not look at the transfers and go, something's wrong?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. That's my cousin Dave.
Sporting.
For this. I love you guys, man. Thanks for watching.